Hello everybody, Chris Wood here. Just jumped on for a few minutes to say hello and to say that after 4 years of my skull being split, my brain being injured, me being medically blacklisted, the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, the arrest refusals, the false arrest, the kidnapping, sex assault, blood and piss stealing, the stalking, having my mother killed, having my dogs tortured and killed, having me completely kidney fucked, lungs going through complete deforming and not being able to do anything about it. Back in 2018, early 2019, I found out some stuff that was going on, and I spoke about it out of the Morning Star mission, the human homeless trafficking and homeless exploitation for monetary gain. As a result, I got a visit from one Spencer Mills 14716 and a guy from the mental health at the time. They showed up to basically threaten me and intimidate me, to let me know that if I did not stop talking about what was taking place, there was going to be serious consequences. And he was 100% right. Then one William Bill Wooldridge came on to this, or after that, ex-chief or commander here in Napanee, 2019, drove a white Jeep Wrangler. I was at my previous address on Center Street, corner of Center and Bridge Street at the lights, and he went by, he waved, I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. The person had black hair. I didn't see their face, but they pointed and they shot something. It went into my right ear. After that, I started having a lot of problems. I started getting burning and everything. It went from my right ear to the right side of my head up to the top of my head, and I was constantly getting burning. So as a result, I went to the hospital, and finally that year I got a CAT scan, and after that, one of the people involved, Stacy, was there and talking about how I am supposed to be a suicidal self-harmer and I have a psychological record, and she was there for my benefit, for anxiety and all of this other crap. I had no association with her. I went to her to get help with another woman that was causing problems here in Napanee, and as a result, the next day, that's when Spencer Mills showed up. But anyway, I go to the hospital, I get my CAT scans done after Stacy got finished talking to the doctor at the time, and next thing you know, I was told I need medication, and I was pretty much medically blacklisted after that. Then one guy named William Bill Wooldridge came onto the scene, and he started stalking. I would go out everywhere I would go. He was always there. He was walking by my place, sometimes 15, 20 times a day, even more, starting first thing in the morning till sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, constantly. He was making it look like he was going to No Frills buying bananas or whatever the case may be. I would go downtown, he was always right there. Why? Because of that, whatever I was shot with, either his prisoner tracking, because he is a wanted harbored inmate, sex offender, pedophile who was stalking children for the ex-chief or commander at Tim Hortons here in Napanee. And every time I would go out, he was always right there, boom, boom, boom. So I fucking finally got sick of it. I got his picture. When I got his picture, then he went into hiding. He used to live at 34 Water Street. And after I got his picture, for about a year or so, he went into hiding, but at the time, he was still stalking my mother as well. He was calling my mother Mom. He and Blair Hardy were using the R&M on her, which I showed you, and as a result, it gave her cancer, because it gives high EMFs, and it is to destroy a person's central nervous system. Now, A lot of people are not aware of that, because that just benefits the one using it, and it's being used for criminal purposes. Here in Napanee, this is Bill Woldridge. He used to live at 34 Water Street. He is now bald. He lives at 149 Center Street North. He is now bald, glasses. He believes that he and I were switched at birth. He believes that he is my dad. He believes that he is also Harry Potter as well, but when he was stalking my mother, he was also calling her mom as well. The guy is highly delusional, highly psychotic, and he's a perfect person to be using this shit for O.p.p. There is also Blair Hardy. There is a Dale Hartwick. There is a Tony Hearns. There is a Jason Gimpy two-step vanalstine. There is a Tyler Lake. There is a guy named Isaac. These are all junkies here in Napanee that are getting protected from O.p.p. They are untouchable, unarrestable, and I can prove my words. Human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, identity thefts and frauds, and homicides is what they're guilty of, lacing drugs here in Napanee to cause death. This is a picture of Bill Woldridge and Blair Frederick Hardy. He is a stalker. Those are the ones that are guilty of killing my mother, stalking and murdering my mother through using R&M on her, giving her cancer. They also done the same thing, tortured my dog to death too, and killing him in March 2023. They threw blood on my previous address, arson attempts, death threats to me, the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, the blood and piss stealing. I was kidnapped through Shelley Hafner's false pretenses and bullshit lies, May 27th, 2021, and that was done in an attempt to shut me up. That was done in an attempt to get my blood and piss, which they did. And then being falsely arrested, being medically blacklisted, the lies about being suicidal self-harmer, the lies about being on drugs, those lies about having long criminal record in history, the lies about having long psychological record in history, and because of me having tattoos and my long hair at the time, and who it was coming from, to be above suspicion of what they're doing, it was believed, so I was medically blacklisted and prevented from medical help, while being treated like a piece of shit, while being sex assaulted, while being injured, while being tortured, having my lungs and my kidneys screwed on me, having my brain being fried out of my head constantly 24/7, and having all of these bastards using this on me 24/7 for 4 years. I've been going through this, and there's been nothing I can do about it, and I am the end of my male bloodline as well. And regardless of how crazy this may seem, it is 100% truth. I had no neurological problems or anything else prior to this happening to me being shot by ex-O.p.p chief and the one in the black truck in 2019 in August. And that's when the problems began, the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, and more. I even have video of me going to O.p.p to try to get arrest, and it not happening. Me being surrounded, hands on guns, me being treated like the criminal, so they could be above suspicion of the injuring, torturing crimes that they are guilty of and committing here in Napanee. The forced suicides, the homicides, the stalking, obvious identity thefts, financial thefts and frauds, drug trafficking, drug lacing, and elderly murders, pension thefts and frauds. These bastards are drug-fed, money-paid lowlives here in Napanee who are getting drop charges as well. They're untouchable, unarrestable without $22,000. Conveniently, knowing I cannot afford that, I have proven my identity theft and identity changes, which I have been through more than enough times, while still being called a liar and knowing exactly 100% who is doing it. This guy here, his name is Tony Hearns. He goes by Axel Rose of Napanee. He is also involved doing this too with Dale Hartwick. This guy is involved. Here's a picture of Hardy and him Wooldridge together. The one known as Bill Wooldridge. That was his last known used name. The one that lived at 34 Water Street, now 149 Center Street, if he's still there. And conveniently, no matter what I've done, I've not been able to get help. My legal rights, my medical rights, my human rights have been taken from me. And what is going on with me is how O.p.p. traffic and frame and are killing people using wanted harbored inmates and these psychotic pieces of shit. And conveniently, this is why they are unarrestable, because they can also implicate. Isn't that right? This is another picture of Blair Hardy. He used to drive a Mercedes here in Napanee. And all of these people are guilty of murders and attempted murders, drug lacing, drug trafficking. With and for ex-O.p.p. Chief Spencer Mills, 14716. Staff Sergeants, years 2019-2021. Shannon Cork, Robert Kane, 7224. Robert Lucas, Stacy, a mental health worker, blonde-haired woman, was Daily Tea Company here in Napanee, now Kingston, and Shelley Hafner or Huffner. The human trafficking, the human sex trade, slavery trafficking. This is why I am going through my identity theft. This is why I was falsely arrested and charged, so they could get my pictures, prints, signatures, and so they could try to criminalize me using their badges, positions, credentials, their false guise of law to be above suspicion of the injuring and torturing and homicides and other crimes that they are committing on the poor, elderly, disabled, and getting away with it while casting their lies against them, and using hospitals to charge their victims for them to fuck them over while refusing them help because of lies and not having to prove anything. They are very seriously dangerous people. They are very seriously dangerous cops. And they need to be stopped, they need to be arrested, they need to have their pensions taken, and they need to be criminally and felony charged. This is Hartwick. Jason vanalstine. All of these people have been using R&M on me for 4 damn years, doing this to me while I've been proving my injuries and deforming and everything else that's been taking place with me, and being called a liar, being called retarded, accused of hallucinating, accused of being delusional. I'm not schizophrenic. I don't have no imaginary friends. I'm not hallucinating. I don't hear voices. I'm not delusional. I don't think I'm somebody that I'm not. I don't have imaginary friends. So So all of that is 100% bullshit against me. Luckily, you're getting away with it, and you have been for 4 fucking years. These are all punks here in Napanee that are conveniently unarrestable, and like I said, with me being into my bloodline, and if these bastards were arrestable anytime O.p.p needs to or wants to, can pay to have my dad exhumed to prove the DNA. And I also have what feels like a tube under my right nipple now on the right side of my chest, and I get air or something going up around me, what looks like that tube, which I have shown that I get occasionally in the back of my neck. My neck's been completely elongated, then back to normal. I've shown all kinds of deforming and not being able to do anything about it. My complete skull and face. Well, I have to sit here and take every single bit of it and not being able to do anything about it, because if I try to get medical help, then I am going to end up with more charges or going to jail. And that's a fact. There are certain people in this town that are very seriously dangerous, even though they may be transferring to avoid arrest and lawsuits against themselves and against O.p.p for the crimes that they are guilty of, along with hospitals. 3 of them, as a matter of fact, been used to completely and totally fuck me over to prevent me help because of the lies. I would go somewhere to get help because of what was going on with me, and all I would hear is, I seen your file, I seen your file, I seen your file. Yeah, well, I'd like to know what file and all this you're talking about, because like I said, I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to being shot by the ex-O.p.p chief, and all of this bullshit began. So, and they've been getting away with it using their badges, their positions, and everything else. This guy here is Stephen Maven. He's a Walnut Harbor inmate, and conveniently he looks a lot now like the one called Bill Woldridge. This is certainly not normal. This is my neck and my back, and I've had pictures of it totally deformed. Neither is this. While not being able to do anything about it. Completely flattened, blowing up like a balloon, going to a hospital, told my hat fits, I'm fine. And because the lies against me, thinking about drugs and everything that I do not fucking do while being accused of it. And this is why certain cops and certain other people are involved with this bullshit, to use their badges, positions, and to continue their fucking lies to get away with what they're getting away with. So, anyway, I just come on for this little bit and to show these ones are very seriously dangerous. They go between Napanee and Kingston, Ontario. They're unarrestable, untouchable, and they can implicate what's been happening. And like I said, I now share DNA with these bastards. There's going to be serious fucking consequences, and that is no threat. Legally, I'm talking. No more games. I am not a fucking game, and I am not a puppet or a play toy for a bunch of junkies, psychotics who are using me like a toy for O.p.p benefit to murder and to get away with it, using these bastards to do it. So remember that, anybody in Napanee, conveniently, and families are murdered and missing. It is the police involved in these crimes. They're hate criminals. So they think of life as something that they can fucking take, something that they can trade, buy, and sell, and that's it. You are a commodity to these bastard terrorists. Nothing more. Be safe, love all, hate none. And this is all 100% truth in case anything more happens to me. Because I can't do anything about what has taken place with me. What I've been shown and proven. This whole side of my fucking face is completely gone. I've had no feeling or stimulation in a very long time, almost a year. And the back part of my head is completely and totally numb and burning. Congratulations, you bastards. Be safe, everybody.